All right, hey everybody, Mark Burgess here again with a follow-up video to the last video I put up regarding forward-facing sonar and what Bass was considering doing for 2026. So, you know, I had phrased it with, you know, forward-facing sonar, what Bass is going to do for 2026. You know, did MLF and the NPFL, get it right. So I want to talk about the comments that I received on that video. A lot of views on it, a lot of comments. Thank you very much. And very interesting. I mean, a lot of comments, you know, for me. So I don't know how many of them was 70 something comments, something like that, maybe even more now. But a lot of real good comments. Generally, you know, like everything else in the world today, you know, differences of opinion. But I want to thank everybody for being professional. It was good debates, good dialogue, good conversation, people expressing their point of view, you know, without getting nasty, no hateful, you know, comments. One comment, one guy thought it might have been clickbaity, which as you know, if you follow my channel, I try not to do that. Does it cost me views and subscribers? Probably, but I just can't go down that drama path. You know, I can't do it. So try to keep it real and honest, and that's what I'm going to try to do again. You know, so I want to talk about some of those comments. A couple of them really stuck out, you know, with me, and I want to get your thoughts on these comments, what they possibly, you know, what further impact they could have, okay, and what they mean to you. So first comment I want to talk about is from, you know, a subscriber that commented on that is, you can't put the genie back in the bottle. Okay, that's very interesting to me. I'm going to give you a scenario based on my own personal experiences with forward-facing sonar. As most of you know, I don't really use it. I haven't used it to catch a single fish. Well, I won't say that, it's a lie. I haven't caught a bass with it yet. Haven't tried to catch a bass with it yet. I've just been messing around with it here and there. I mean, most of my time is spent with Mega 360, Humminbird Mega 360, and that's like a jig in the rod box. It's always on. It's always on as part of my electronics at the bow. I always have Mega 360 on. I'm always looking at it. Okay, it's such an amazing tool. Yes, you can see fish, just not moving. Okay, and you really got to be focused on it and pay attention and standing. You got to be still, really, to for me anyway, to recognize that. And the other one is side imaging. Now I've been using side imaging since it came out, and I didn't even know how great a tool it was when it first came out. But it's amazing. Side imaging will show you. It's probably the best tool to see the exact contours of what you're looking at, both sides of the boat, especially hard bottom. It's amazing. It's showing you hard bottom and where it is, and being able to scroll over to that exact whatever it is, little rock pile, little rough edge, little shell bed, mussels, whatever it is, to scroll over to it, put a waypoint on it, and turn around and go back and fish it. Okay, it's amazing for that. So those are the tools I use the most. Forward-facing sonar, I've played around with it a little bit. I've been able to actually see a fish, see my bait. Earlier this spring, in March, I was on a body of water. We had a tournament coming up, would be in April if it didn't get postponed. And I came across, I turned it on just because I wasn't getting bit and they weren't where I thought they should have been. And I turned it on and I ended up seeing schools of bait. Okay, so this bait turned out to be white perch. I could see the schools of bait 35 feet out in about 5 or 6 feet of water. And so just for, you know, shits and giggles, pardon my language, threw a jerk bait out at him, okay? And jerk, boom. Was catching the white perch. And they were big white perch. And I could see the schools of bait, and I could see some larger fish underneath the bait, which I assumed was bass, okay, or predator fish. I couldn't get them to go. I could only catch those big white perch on the jerkbait. So I'm like, well, that's just those bigger perch down underneath. And maybe the bait I was looking at wasn't white perch, but it was, you know, some other kind of bait that the white perch were feeding on, okay? So flash forward to the tournament, a guy that won, good friend of mine, extremely proficient with forward-facing sonar, caught those, was catching bass on the schools of white perch that were down below the school of white perch. He figured it out, he caught him, he had like 18 pounds, won the tournament, okay? And I know where he was because where I was fishing that day, I never saw him. So I know exactly where he was, and that's where I experienced that same thing with the white perch, okay? So that's my personal experience with forward-facing sonar. Point being, took me a while to get there, point being, if I continue to go down that path and I become more proficient at it, and you know I like it, and it becomes part of my deal, can I not do it? Can I be one of those people who, you know, can use it if I need to, but not use it all the time? I don't know. I don't know. Can you put the genie back in the bottle? I don't know. Guys that are fish with it exclusively, I think it's going to be harder for them to put that genie back in the bottle. I do. So that's what I thought was really interesting about that comment. The other comment was that I want to talk about is the people using it, the guys using it, are becoming better fish catchers, not better fishermen. We're becoming catchers instead of fishermen. Okay, so we're not getting better at fishing, even though it is the act of fishing. We're getting better at catching. It's more about catching than it is about the fishing and the bite. I mean, I know why I fish. I fish for the next bite. I fish for the bite. I do, honest. We go out striping fishing, and we're catching, you know, fish under birds, and they're schooling, and bait's flying out of the water, and birds are diving in, and fish are busting. It's all mayhem breaking loose. You can throw out there, get a bite. You can't wait to get that fish in, to release it, to throw out there and get another bite. Okay, so that's why I do it. So that was interesting. They're becoming better fish catchers instead of better fishermen. The other thought I had with that, and I want your thoughts on that. Tell me your thoughts on both those comments. Once the genie's out of the bottle, can he be put back in? And do you think that's the case? We're becoming more proficient at catching versus learning about fishing, become a better fisherman. I just think that's pretty interesting. You know, I had another thought too. You know, regarding that. is bass, like I heard a comment, okay, Trey McKini, back up. Had to get my thought there. Trey McKini made the comment, I might have been on Fork, this was not recently, it was a while back, that he, just talking out loud to the camera, had a camera boat with him, just talking, was live. He goes, yeah, I gotta see them before I can catch them. I gotta see them before I can catch them. And, you know, the mannerism was a lot like if you've ever fished down south, like on Hartwell or something like that, and you're waiting for the fish to school. You know, it never fails. You go to make a cast with whatever bait you want, and they'll come up schooling over there, and you got to just burn that bait back in so you can make a cast to the schooling fish. So you end up basically just standing there with the rod loaded, ready to make a cast when they come up, instead of just fishing for them. It's very similar where you're just looking for a fish. You're not making any cast until you see the fish. So I thought that was worth mentioning. Pardon me there, I was getting a little dry. The other thing I wanted to just throw out there, and I can see it's getting late in the video, maybe I'll save it for another video, I'll just mention it now. Do you think bass is manipulating the situation where there's certain people who, if they stay with forward-facing sonar the way it is, or they make another change and it's not really make a difference in what they're doing now or how it impacts people using it or not using it, do you think that might be intentional to like maybe get certain people to move on to encourage the new generation of anglers, the guys coming up through not so much high school a little bit, but especially college, where they use it exclusively and more, and again in the opens, and then that way there it's not going to affect the electronics sponsorship situation. So let me just, I think we're going to talk about that a lot more, but let me just leave it right there. And I, again, hope if you watched the video to this far, thank you very much. I'll mention it again, maybe even in the comment, in the description of the video, you know, that I think we're going to make that a topic. All right, so that's the video for today. Thank you so much for watching and all the comments. I really appreciate it. That's really was my intention. So thanks again for that, and we'll see you on the next one for sure.